not even the biggest angle iron, just angle iron. And when you look at the way it is, you realize that in fact they didn't even buy the wood. They use local people to cut this mahogany. It is untreated, they've nailed it there, and now because of the rain, most of them have bent, and most of them have broken down. Now, I know now, each time we are going to say, no, can you cannot go there. I say, I came to tour, and that's why I'm wearing military boots. Poto. I said, look, I came to see. And what I saw was depressing. You see, before you die, you're going to pay for this. Even without me touching you. Because it's not me you offended your own people. You are taking Gambians backward by your greed. You're going to pay for it. Allah is not a God that is unjust. But Allah doesn't like injustice. You are paid salaries. And then $25, which is less than a day's per diem, to go to a stupid workshop. Well, if I look at you, it doesn't mean I'm talking to you. Can you imagine $25? You go right to the World Bank. $25. But even if you were to ask a high school student would have given it to you. The machine was live for 6 years. But of course, it's not only agriculture. RVT, we had a $4 million machine that needed $2,000. One needed only $1,500, and it was in the store for 7 good years. It has to take Syrian doctors to put those machines to save lives in this country. I used my own money to buy 25 oxygen plants from Taiwan, because we used to buy oxygen from Senegal and elsewhere. Within 6 months, all those oxygen plants are gone. Anyway, I have sworn, and I will set examples. This habit must end today. Otherwise, most of you will regret. Resign if you don't want to serve the Gambian people. All of us are paid to serve the Gambian people. If you cannot deliver, go home. But don't deprive the Gambians of what belongs to them. It's not only agriculture or health or whatever. Wherever you are serving and you are paid. If you think that what you are being paid is not enough, go home. Go and find a better job anywhere. Nobody will touch you. But if you stay around and say, let me enrich myself at the expense of Gambians, you're committing suicide. And I mean it. Because what I'm going to do next is going to shock everybody. Because this is unacceptable. How many people died at the RVTH? Because essential things that were needed for surgery. Dr. Ahmad faced tough time. I told him, look, you don't talk to Gambians. And I don't even want you to give me a list. I told the Secretary General, go and get me a list of all those people in RVTH then. And I will set an example. And that is why we put RVTH directly on the OP. Nobody ever thought that a minister can go to RVTH or Edward Francis Small Hospital for treatment, most of checkups. Today you have people from outside of our borders coming to Edward Francis Small Hospital for treatment. Don't we have a conscience? Don't we know that there is a living God that is seeing everything that we are doing? Projects that you cannot swindle money out from, you sit on it, you block it. Projects that would have created employment for our brothers and sisters. It's very sad. Enough is enough. And I'm giving it December because I know why. If after 20 years you cannot reform, go home. If you don't want to deliver, go home. We have no business with you. But this practice must end today. Wherever you are, be it in central government or in the parastatals, we are not going to accept this. For parastatals, as from today, gone are the days that you only work for your salaries and allowances and travel expenses. You are supposed to make profit for the government so that we can use those funds to supplement central revenue. Not for you to make just enough. And I think you've done a good job because you've never gone sort of paying your salaries and allowances and so-called training. Finally, let me warn you. I think we all know the cost of attending NDI and the cost of attending UTG. So if you expect me to approve any so-called training of 3 days, that will cost more than $30,000, forget it. I wouldn't approve that. 2 days workshop for $30,000 or more. In fact, some of it is 124, and then you say it's at no cost to government. You attend a workshop and when you come back, you don't even report. And what you learned in that 2-day workshop is not even reflected in your performance when government has paid a lot of money. So don't even bother yourself, otherwise you'll be asking for trouble. You say it's at no cost to government. Then you ask for 2 days travel time. One thing you are forgetting is the fact that the days you are absent from work is a cost to government. You don't know that. And then the Ministry of Agriculture, some officers had the guts to write just this last week to say they want to go on a study tour of St. Louis or whatever. You are aware of that, Owens? Also, the minister is not even aware of that. Thank you. Study tour. What do you have to learn from St. Louis? A semi-desert area. Best practices. For how long have we been farming in this country? I didn't go to anywhere to know what to do in Sapo. Back then, who is there? The Canada cost that the ministry were talking about 11 million. He was able to unplug it, rebuild it for $150,000. He didn't go to any agricultural school. So where do you get those figures from? And then you want to go to St. Louis to best practice. What is going in the desert? Is it going in the Gambia? What are you going to learn from there? And then they say, oh, farmer. And you look at the list. So I think because Senegal, I'll close my eyes to it, you make a big mistake. And some of you solicit invitations to conferences that do not concern you. I know what is going on. Each time I say invited, I find out use a different country to find out how people get to that conference. Most of them are commercial. Now, you tell me it's at no cost, for example, to Gantel. Yeah, to government. It's at cost of Gantel. Gambia is not government owned. It's at no cost to CBG, Central Bank of the central government. And Central Bank of the Gambia belongs to the sky. Or it is going to be taken up by GIA, PIRA. Is at no cost to government. PIRA is not government. Oh, you say it is at no cost to government. It's at cost of GGC, Social Security. It's at no cost to government. One, you'll be absent. And then, we all know today that it's not practically possible for you to be on the road for 72 hours unless you are going to planet Mars. And then you tell me that travel time, it will take you 6 days to reach a meeting, and then 6 days to come back for 2 days meeting. And that is